This is chapter 10 of Legend, June. I should be the one going out there, not you. I grit my teeth and try not to look at Thomas. His words could have come right out of Midas's mouth. I'll look less suspicious than you, I reply. People might find it easier to trust me. We're standing in front of a window in Balta Hall's north wing, watching Commander Jameson at work on the other side of the glass. Today they caught a spy from the colonies who secretly spread propaganda about how the Republic is lying to you. Spies are usually shipped out to Denver, but if they're caught in a big city like Los Angeles, we take them before the capital does. He's dangling upside down in the interrogation room right now. Commander Jameson has a pair of scissors in her hand. I tilt my head a little as I look at the spy. I already hate him as much as I hate anything about the colonies. He's not affiliated with the Patriots, that's for sure, but that just makes him more of a coward. So far, every Patriot we've hunted down has killed himself before getting taken in. This spy's young, probably in his late 20s, about the same age my brother was. I'm slowly growing used to talking about Midas in past tense. From the corner of my eye, I can see that Thomas is still looking at me. Commander Jameson officially promoted him to fill my brother's position, but Thomas has little power over what I choose to do on this test mission, and it drives him crazy. He could have balked at letting me go undercover in the lake sector for days on end without a pair of strong backups and a team to follow me. But it's going to happen anyway, starting tomorrow morning. Look, don't worry about me. Through the glass, I see the spy arch his back in agony. I can take care of myself. Day isn't a fool. If I have a team following me through the city, he'll notice it in no time. Thomas turns back to the interrogation. I know you're good at what you do, he replies. I wait for the but in his sentence. It doesn't come. Just keep your microphone on. I'll take care of things back here. I smile at him. Thanks. He doesn't look back at me, but I can see his lips tilt up at the edges. Maybe he's remembering when I used to tag along after him and Midas, asking them inane questions about how the military worked. Behind the glass, the spy suddenly yells something at Commander Jameson and thrashes violently against his chains. She glances over at us and motions us in with a flip of her hand. I don't hesitate. Thomas and I and another soldier standing close to the interrogation room's door hurry inside and spread out near the back wall. Instantly, I feel how stuffy and hot the room is. I look on as the prisoner continues to scream. What did you say to him? I ask Commander Jameson. She looks at me. Her eyes are ice cold. I told him that our airships will target his hometown next. She turns back to the prisoner. He'll start cooperating if he knows what's good for him. The spy glares at each of us in turn. Blood runs from his mouth to his forehead and hair and drips onto the floor beneath him. Whenever he thrashes, Commander Jameson stomps on the chain around his neck and chokes him until he stops. Now he snarls and spits blood at our boots, making me wipe mine against the ground in disgust. Commander Jameson bends down and smiles at him. Let's start again, shall we? What's your name? The spy looks away from her and says nothing. Commander Jameson sighs and nods to Thomas. My hands are tired, she says. You did the honors. Yes, ma'am. Thomas salutes and steps forward. He tightens his jaw, then balls up his fist and punches the spy hard in the stomach. The spy's eyes bulge out and he coughs up more blood onto the floor. I distract myself by studying the details of his outfit. Brass buttons, military boots, a blue pin on his sleeve, which means he hasn't disguised himself as a soldier, and we caught him near San Diego, the only city that requires everyone to wear those blue pins. I can tell what gave him away, too. One of the brass buttons looks slightly flatter than those made in the Republic. He must have stitched on that button by himself, a button from an old colony's uniform. Stupid, a mistake only a colony's spy would make. What's your name? Commander Jameson asked him again. Thomas flips open a knife and grabs one of the spy's fingers. The spy swallows hard. Emerson. Emerson what? Be specific. Emerson Adam Graham. Mr. Emerson Adam Graham of East Texas, Commander Jameson says in a light, coaxing voice. A pleasure to meet you, young sir. Tell me, Mr. Graham, why did the colonies send you over to our fine republic? To spread their lies? The spy lets out a weak laugh. Fine republic, he snaps. Your republic won't last another decade, and all the better too. Once the colonies take over your land, they'll make better use of it than you have. Thomas hits the spy across the face with the hilt of his knife. A tooth skids across the floor. When I look back at Thomas, his hair has fallen across his face, and a cruel pleasure has replaced his usual kindness. I frown. I haven't seen this look on Thomas's face often. It chills me. Commander Jameson stops him before he can hit the spy again. It's all right. Let us hear what our friend has to say against the Republic. The spy's face is scarlet from hanging upside down for too long. You call this a republic? You kill your own people and torture those who used to be your brothers? I roll my eyes at that. The colonies want us to think that letting them take over is a good thing, like they're annexing us or doing us some kind of favor. That's how they see us, a poor little French nation, as if they're the more powerful one. That idea is in their best interest after all, since I hear the Floods have claimed much more of their land than ours. That's all it's ever been about. Land, land, land. But becoming a union, that has never happened, and that will never happen. We'll defeat them first or die trying. I'll tell you nothing. You can try as hard as you want, but I'll tell you nothing. Commander Jameson smiles at Thomas, who smiles back. Well, you heard Mr. Graham, she says. Try as hard as you want. Thomas goes to work on him, and after a while the other soldier in the room has to join him to hold the spy in place. I force myself to look on as they try to pry information out of him. I need to learn this, to familiarize myself with this. My ears ring from the spy's screams. I ignore the fact that the spy's hair is straight and dark like my own, and his skin is pale, and his youth reminds me of Midas over and over again. I tell myself that Midas is not the one whom Thomas is now torturing. That would be impossible. Midas can't be tortured. He is already dead. That night, Thomas escorts me back to my apartment and kisses me on the cheek before he leaves. He tells me to be careful and that he will be monitoring anything that transmits through my microphone. Everyone will keep an eye on you, he reassures me. You're not alone out there unless you choose to be. I manage to smile back. I ask him to take care of Ollie while I'm gone. When I'm finally inside the apartment, I curl up on the couch and rest my arm on Ollie's back. He's sleeping soundly and has pressed himself tightly against the side of the couch. He probably feels Midas's absence as much as I do. On the coffee table, stacks of our parents' old photos from Midas's bedroom closet are strewn across the glass. So are Midas's journals and a booklet where he used to save little mementos of things we did together. An opera, late-night dinners, early practices at the track. I've been looking through them ever since Thomas left, hoping that the things Midas had wanted to talk to me about is mentioned somewhere. I flip through Midas's writing and reread the little notes Dad liked to leave at the bottom of their photos. The most recent ones show our parents standing with a young Midas in front of Balta Hall. All three are making thumbs-up gestures. Midas's future career is here, March 12th. I stare at the date. It was taken several weeks before they died. My recorder sits on the edge of the coffee table. I snap my fingers twice, then listen to Day's voice over and over. What face matches up to this voice? I try to imagine how Day looks, young and athletic, probably, and lean from years on the streets. The voice sounds so crackled and distorted from the speakers that there are parts I can't understand. Hear that, Ollie? I whisper. Ollie snores a little and rubs his head against my hand. That's our guy, and I'm going to get him. I fall asleep with Day's words ringing in my ears. 6:25 hours. I'm in the lake sector watching the strengthening daylight paint the churning water wheels and turbines gold. A layer of smoke hovers perpetually over the water's edge. Farther across the lake, I can see downtown Los Angeles sitting right next to the shore. A street policeman approaches and tells me to stop loitering, to keep moving. I nod wordlessly and continue along the shore. From a distance, I blend in completely with those walking around me. My half-sleeved collared shirt came from a thrift emporium at the border between lake and winter. My trousers are torn and smeared with dirt. My boots' leather is flaking off. I'm very careful about the type of knot I use to tie my shoelaces. It's a simple rose knot, something any worker would use. I pulled my hair back into a tight, high ponytail. I wear a newsboy's cap over it. Day's pendant necklace sits snugly in my pocket. I can't believe how filthy the streets are here, probably even worse than the dilapidated outskirts of Los Angeles. The ground sits low against the water, not unlike the other poor sectors which all seem to look the same. so that whenever there's a storm, the lake probably floods all the streets lining the shore with dirty sewage-contaminated water. Every building is faded, crumbling, and pockmarked, except, of course, the police headquarters. People walk around trash piled against the walls as if it isn't even there. Flies and stray dogs linger near the garbage, as do some people. I crinkle my nose at the smell: smoky lanterns, grease, sewage. Then I stop, realizing that if I'm to pass as a lake citizen, I should pretend to be used to the stench. Several men grin at me as I pass by. One even calls out to me. I ignore them and keep going. What a bunch of cons, men who had barely passed their trials. I wonder if I can catch the plague from these people, even though I'm vaccinated. Who knows where they've been? Then I stop myself. Midas had told me never to judge the poor like that. Well, he's a better person than I am, I think bitterly. The tiny microphone inside my cheek vibrates a little. Then a faint sound comes across from my earpiece. Miss Ypres. Thomas's voice comes out as a little hum that only I can hear. Everything working. Yep, I murmur. The little microphone picks up my throat's vibrations. In Central Lake now. I'm going dark for a bit. Got it, Thomas says, and his side falls silent. I make a clicking sound with my tongue to turn off the microphone. I spend most of this first morning pretending to dig around in the garbage bins. From the other beggars, I hear stories about plague victims, which areas the place seem most nervous about, and which have started to recover. They talk about the best places to find food, the best places to find fresh water, the best places to hide during hurricanes. Some of the beggars look too young to have even taken the trial. The youngest one talks about their parents or how to pickpocket a soldier, but no one talks about day. The hours drag on into evening, then night. When I find a quiet alley to rest in with a few other beggars already asleep in the garbage bins, I curl into a dark corner, and click my microphone on. Then I take out Day's pendant necklace from my pocket, holding it up slightly so I can study its smooth bumps. Calling it a night, I murmur. My throat barely vibrates. My hearing piece crackles faintly with static. Miss Ypres, Thomas says. Any luck today? Nope, no luck. I'll try some public places tomorrow. Okay, well, if people here 24/7. By people over here 24/7, I know Thomas means he's the only one there listening for me. Thanks, I whisper. Going dark. I click my microphone off. My stomach rumbles. I pull out a slice of chicken I found in the back of a cafe's kitchen and force myself to munch on it, ignoring the slime of cold grease. If I need to live like a lake citizen, I'll have to eat like one. Maybe I should get a job, I think. The idea makes me snort a little. When I finally fall asleep, I have a bad dream and Midas is in it. I find nothing substantial the next day or the day after that. My hair grows tangled and dull in the heat and smoke, and dirt has started to coat my face. When I look at my reflection in the lake, I realize that I look exactly like a street beggar now. Everything feels dirty. On the fourth day, I make my way to the rim of Lake Embley Ridge and decide to spend my time wandering through the bars. That's when something happens. I stumble into a skiz fight.